Hello, welcome to today's session. So today I try and do a different theme each week. So first week we did kind of general all over. Last week was more focusing on movement and breath. And this week we're going to be doing some of the same kind of bigger movements, but we are actually going to focus on smaller movements. So I'm going to exaggerate them so that you can, see and understand. But they don't have to be that big for you. And we'll be focusing on smaller body parts, so like toes and feet, hands and wrists, and face and eyes. So there's more than 40 muscles in your face. For me, keeping it in looking quite irritable even when I'm relaxed. I've got one of those faces. So working through all of those muscles as well, which often get neglected. And very simple. You can do that sitting down, lying down in bed. Great way. Sometimes your tension kind of comes on your face. You can see when people are stressed in their face and they're tense everywhere else. So softening that part of you can actually link and help soften the rest of you. So the theory goes, we'll find out. So I'm going to get on my chair and we'll make a start. Again, very nice and elegant standing up from me. So wherever you're sitting, want to make yourself nice and secure. So maybe have a little bit of a wriggle or move some fleshy bits around so you're nice and stable. I'm going to go back so that I'm supported by the chair because I'm having a bit of a low back twingy day, so I want to be nice and supported. And then coming and bringing your attention to your breath. So if you want to close your eyes, that's fine. If you'd prefer to keep them open, also fine. Maybe soften your gaze instead. So kind of bringing things slightly out of focus. And a few breaths, smooth, natural breaths. Trying not to change how you're breathing, if at all possible. And reminding yourself that as we move through the different movements, positions, we don't want any strain in our body or in our breath. So only doing as much as is comfortable for you, as is available for you today at this very moment. Smooth, natural breaths. And we want to keep that smooth, natural breath as we move through. And we're going to start with a body scan. So starting from the ground, working up, so your feet, just checking in, noticing sensations or absence of sensation. And then working your way up. So maybe on your next inhale, you move up through your ankles and your calves, your shins. And as you exhale, you observe the sensations or not that are there or not there. And your next breath, move a little bit further up your body, your knees, the tops of your legs, backs of your thighs. Just observing without judgment, working your way up your body as quickly or as slowly as you like. To check in and connect with your physical body. Sometimes when we have these issues, pain, unusual, unknown sensations, we dissociate to make it easier to continue. So trying as best you can to establish that connection in all parts of your body. And when you've reached the top of your head, maybe trying to notice the sensation of your hair and your scalp, there's an option just to briefly check in on yourself mentally, emotionally, how you're feeling within yourself this day, right now. Again, no judgments on what you're feeling or not feeling, or if you don't really know what you're feeling. And then coming back to your breath, just for a little moment. And we're going to do 3 shrug and sighs. So nice and simple. On your next inhale, taking your breath in, shrugging your shoulders up. And as you exhale, sighing it out. And again, inhale, shrug up. And exhale, release. One more time. As you inhale and letting it go. And letting your breath return back to normal. And I don't know about you, I always feel much better after a little sigh out. And then we're going to start from the bottom again, work our way up. So starting with feet and toes, as best you can, just having a little bit of movement. So you can take one foot and do some ankle turns, or you can do them both together. Or as we mentioned at the beginning, you can visualize the movements instead. So turning one direction and then switching directions when you're ready. And when you've done about 5 or 6 each way, maybe do a little point and flex or rock onto the heels of your feet and then the balls of your feet. Just moving through your ankles in the different directions. And then a little scrunch of your toes and spread them wide. Scrunch and spread. And then letting that go, maybe giving your feet a little bit of a tap. Coming up to your knees. Just double checking your posture. Have you started to slouch? I noticed I had, so again, I'm going to sit back in my chair for support. And then just gently straightening one leg as best you can, and then bringing it back in and switching sides. So just gentle movements. Again, no strain, no stress. So even if it's a very small movement, that's fine. And maybe making this one your last one. And taking a breath, moving up the body even more, and we're going to be drawing knee up in towards the chest. So you can keep your foot down and kind of lift up onto your toes and release. Maybe that works for you. Maybe you want to lift a little bit more using your hands for support. Again, thinking nice and supported through your back. Or maybe you want to see about lifting without using your hands. That uses a lot more strength, not only in your legs, but also all across your tummy and your back. So only do as much as you can without any extra strain or stress. And I'm going to make this one my last one. And release. Oh. I'm going to do a little bit of movement through the hips and the back. So I'm going to take my knees a little bit wider. It's a little bit more comfortable for me. I feel a bit more stable, but you can stay as you were if that works better for you. And we're going to think about doing some circles around the hips. So just moving around and around. These can be quite big or small. See, I'll do them big just so that you can see. And then one more in this direction, and we're going to switch it up the other way. For some reason, this direction always feels a bit more awkward for me and kind of a bit sticky in my joints. So if you notice a difference of any description, it's fine. Just notice and don't judge. And one more. And coming back to sitting up nice and tall. Maybe check in on your posture. I'm going to bring my knees in a little bit, but still kind of wider than hip width for our movement back and forth through the spine. So a little pelvic tilt. I'll turn to the side so you have a bit of a better view. So when you inhale, you want to think about lifting the chest, arching the back, rolling the pelvis forward. And as you exhale, your tummy draws in, you're rounding through your back, and you maybe look down towards your knees or your hands. And then just gently rock back and forth. Inhale, lift the chest, roll the pelvis one way. Exhale, pelvis rolls the other way as you round through. So gentle back and forth. Again, this can be super small, so it's barely noticeable and you're focusing on moving your pelvis back and forth. Or it can ripple all the way through and include your neck in the movement. It's not right or wrong, they're just different options depending on what works best for you. And then when you're ready, coming back to sitting nice and tall. If you have to adjust, that's fine. And then we're going to do our side bends. So thinking about drawing up, so lifting your ribs away from your hips. And then you can have your hands either on your hips, your waist, or reaching down towards the floor. Take an inhale to create some length, and as you exhale, just drop one side. And then inhale, lift, and drop the other side. And just take a few movements back and forth. Again, we want smooth movements to go with the smooth breath. And I'm going to do one more each side. And then coming back to center. And little gentle twists. So for this, because otherwise I hit the back of my chair, I'm going to scooch forward a little bit, but that might not be an issue for you. Starting in our tall position. Inhale to start, and as you exhale, just draw one hand back towards that hip as you turn and look over that same shoulder. And then come back to the center and come the other way. And come back. So just gentle side to side, twisting through. Now again, they can be smaller twists depending on how your low back, your hips are feeling. No stress, no strain. Just gentle twists. And then when you're ready, coming back to center and we're going to come to our hands. So just going to give your hands a little bit of a clenching fist, spread your fingers wide, almost like you're flicking water off. So think about flicking your thumb on each finger a few times, then give them a little shake and a few twists, turning round in one direction and then the other. Turning my hands this way, one, it makes my wrists click, and two, it feels very awkward. So that's quite enough of that. And we're going to move through the elbows. So again, quick posture check. Yeah, I'm going to sit back. You can have your hands either kind of on your lap or down to the side, or you can reach your hands in front of you. Depends, whatever you'd like to do. Either way, just bending your elbows and bringing your hands towards your shoulders and then straightening. So having your hands out in front of you is a bit more challenging. So feel free to release your hands down if that works better for you. So again, gentle movements through your elbows. And just one more. And then releasing it out. Shoulder time. So taking a few shoulder rolls up, back and down. So again, I'm doing these quite big and exaggerated so that it's visible on the screen. You might prefer a bit of a smaller, less noticeable roll. And then coming to center and then seeing if you can just do one shoulder and then do the other shoulder. And then see if you can alternate. So almost like you're doing a backstroke. And again, I start to notice how crunchy my shoulders are. And so maybe one more each side. And then shrug and release. And so now we're going to move through the neck. Try not to rush these movements. It's very tempting to kind of fling your head around. We want to keep it nice, smooth and controlled. So when you're ready, starting just neutral. And as you exhale, just drop your chin towards your chest, trying to keep your back nice and long. And maybe pause here for a breath. And on your next inhale, lifting the head and drawing the chin up, like you're trying to stretch your chin towards that crease where the ceiling meets the wall. And then moving with your breath, exhale, chin comes down. Inhale, chin lifts. One more time. Exhale down. Inhale, chin lifts. And then coming back to center, doing side to side this time. So inhale to start, exhale, turn your head like you want to slyly gaze over the one shoulder. Inhale to center, exhale the other way. And again, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. One more each way here. And back to center. And we're going to do one last neck one. So dropping, I'm going to do my left ear towards my left shoulder. Taking a pause. And then inhale, lift your head. Exhale, drop. Other way. And then inhale and exhale. Just gentle side to side. And then the next time you drop your left ear towards your left shoulder, just take a little pause. Maybe think about rolling your right shoulder up, back and down. And then switching to the right side. And again, think about rolling that left shoulder up, back and down. Gentle breath here. And then as you inhale, lifting up to center. Exhale, releasing it out. And any movements that you'd like to do, anything you want to shake it out. Oh, and so from here, we're going to be coming back and we're going to be doing a little bit of kind of core type work. So the closer you are towards the edge of your chair, the more challenging this is. So I'm actually going to be sitting further back. Smart. And so with this, we're going to be coming to do alternating leg and arm lifts. So it's also really good for your coordination. And again, whether you do part of it, visualize part of it, it's up to you. And again, you can focus on just the legs or just the arms or bring them both together. So all we're going to do is, as you inhale, straighten one leg as much as you can and bring the opposite arm up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, gently bring down. And the other side, so inhale, lifting, exhale, releasing. And so just moving back and forth. You might be moving a bit quicker than I am if your breath moves quicker, or maybe you're even moving super slow. You've got super slow breath. That's fine. And then coming back, so this is the first side I did, and we're going to pause here and take a few breaths. Maybe think about, if your leg is extended, pointing your toes, stretching your fingertips up, feeling that bracing across your whole tummy and your back. And on your next exhale, gently release down. We're going to hold the other side. So inhale, straightening up. Smooth breaths. And remember, your leg doesn't have to be totally straight. Your arm doesn't have to be all the way up. Just wherever you can, wherever works. Pointing those toes, reaching your fingertips up. Smooth breath. As you next exhale, gently release down. And there's an option now, either just the arms, just the legs, or both together. See if you can inhale, reach both up, either both, just your legs, just your arms, or both. Couple of breaths here. And exhale, release down. Take a breath. I don't know about you, but I can tell my heart rate has actually gone up just from doing that. So don't say, oh, sitting in your chair means it's easy. Not necessarily the case. So we're going to do a little bit more in back bending, so bending through your back and opening through the top of your chest. So nice way to do it, have your hands on your thighs. Again, I'm going to turn to the side, and this is an exaggerated movement so that you can see. And think about, as we did with the movement, lifting the top of your chest, rolling your shoulders back and down and squeezing your shoulder blades together. And think about drawing your elbows kind of in towards the side of your body. And remembering to breathe, the tricky bit. A lot of people hold their breath like this. So taking a breath. And as you exhale, come back to a neutral spine. Try not to round your spine, try to keep it tall. This can be quite a challenge. Your body naturally kind of wants to fold in on itself, but we're going to do it again. There is an option, if you have a chair like I do, that you can, in fact, instead of having your hands on your thighs, you can reach back and take hold. Now, we're not going to be wrenching, we're just using it for support to bring the arms behind us. So this is an option. If you're not in the right chair or you don't want to take it, that's fine. We can stay with this one. So when you're ready, as you inhale, lifting the chest, rolling the shoulders up, back and down, maybe reaching your hands back if appropriate, and a few breaths. So shoulder blades are squeezing together, really thinking about being broad, and your collarbones are spreading wide. If you find it difficult to breathe, you may be too far into it, so you can soften a little. And on your next exhale, gently release. And what you might find helps, you might just want to give your knees a little bit of a tick-tock from side to side. This actually helps kind of loosen your hips, your low back. And we're going to be doing our hip hinge. So actually I'll stay like this. So you may want to be closer to the edge of your chair, you may prefer not to be. You want to make sure that you're nice and stable through your feet. Your spine is long, so we're not arching through, we're not rounding, we're as tall as we can be. As we breathe in, we're thinking tall, and as we breathe out, we gently lower our chest towards our thighs, trying to keep that spine long. So you're looking down a little bit in front of your feet. And a breath here. And then the next time you inhale, you can lift up, maybe using your hands for support. Exhale, hinge and fold forward, just as much as is comfortable. A breath, and on your next inhale, lifting up. And then this next time, exhale, hinge forward. Now I haven't gone down quite as far this time because there's an option, if you would like to take it, to reach your hands away from you. Now you may have to brace your tummy. If it's too much, if it's not working, bring your hands back down or reach your fingertips away. I can feel all of my legs engaging here to stop me falling over. And on your next inhale, seeing if you can lift up. Exhale, release out. And a breath. Whew. I think I might have been holding my breath then. Even though I was talking, I don't think I was breathing as smoothly as I should have been. So we're going to come for a forward fold now. So this one can be a bit more relaxed. So you don't have to worry about keeping your spine super straight. I'm going to take my feet a little bit further away from me, but you can have yours. If they're too close in, as you lean forward, it can kind of tip your center of gravity and might feel like you're going to fall on your face, which we absolutely do not want. So when you're ready, inhale to kind of lift and lengthen out of your hips. And as you exhale, just gently releasing your body over your legs. Now I'm going to bring my forearms to my thighs and I'm going to look down towards between my feet. Now that feels fine for me. You may find that you want to take your feet, kind of heel toe them a little bit wider. You might need to kind of move some fleshy bits around to make it more comfortable. And then if you like, you can stay here. Or you can see about bringing your hands kind of onto your shins. Maybe they slide down towards your ankles, maybe even your feet or the floor. Or, because this is the most comfortable for me, I'm going to keep my forearms on my thighs. And let the back of my neck release. A couple of smooth breaths wherever you are. Trying to free any unnecessary tension. And when you're ready, gently lifting yourself up, maybe using your hands for support, taking it nice and slowly. Oh no, I had an extra little bonus head rush there anyway. It's fine. So, we've done our big movements. So now we're going to come to our smaller movements. So again, we're going to start from the bottom up. So we're going to start again with your feet. So this time you can do one foot, then the other, or you can try and do both feet together, which I've actually not done before. Could be an interesting challenge. Or obviously you can visualize. And what we're going to do is pretending that your big toes are pens, going to see about drawing the alphabet. So you can choose if you want to do capitals or lowercase, up to you. And so I'm going to do one leg and then the other, and I'm going to do capitals. And so I'm going to start my alphabet. And then you realise that even though you're my age, struggling to remember your alphabet. So don't worry, we're only going to do this for a certain amount of time. Doesn't matter if you don't complete your alphabet. Oh, and a click from me. And just one more letter and release down. So I only got to M on that side. Let's see how we go on the other side. Or if you're doing them both together or visualizing, start again, or you can continue on your alphabet if you remember where you left off. So taking it again. Oh. So moving through your letters, maybe noticing if one side feels more challenging. So this is good for movement and brain and memory. And one more letter and releasing down. Oh, so I got to P on that side, there we go. So even though my left side felt a bit more kind of sticky, I did it quicker. Maybe I was trying to rush through them. And then when you really want to challenge yourself, you can see about doing the alphabet backwards. But I can't even say the alphabet backwards, so we shan't be doing that today. So, done a little bit of extra on our ankles. Now we're going to be doing toes. So, having your feet flat on the floor. Maybe let me move back a little bit. So, having your feet flat on the floor and then pushing down through the balls of your foot and your heels, lifting all of your toes up off the mat as best you can, or off the floor. And then releasing them down. And then thinking about your big toe and lifting just your big toe and pushing your other toes into the floor. And then releasing down and switching. So pressing just your big toe into the floor and lifting your other toes up off the mat. And then releasing. Now, don't worry if this one completely flummoxes you. I I'm 50-50 if I can do it at all, but it's just giving it a go and seeing how it works for you. So big toe and little toe, you want to see about pushing those into the mat, and your other toes, toes 2, 3 and 4, see if you can lift them up off the floor. Don't worry if you can't, it's the pushing down on the other toes that matters. And then release. Hopefully you're still breathing as we're doing this, just a little reminder. And then the other way around, so pushing down your other toes and seeing if you can lift your little toe and your big toe. And this one I really struggle with. Have a breath. And then release. Maybe give your toes, your heels a little bit of movement. Yeah, see, that's a that's a good old thinker. That one's good for the brain as well. So coming to your hands now. So bring your palms so that they're facing each other, and again you can have your elbows in quite close to you, or you can have it further away. This is a bit more challenging. And then so thinking fingertips pointing up, and then bending your fingers so you're coming at right angles, so your fingers point towards each other, and then drawing your fingers in so you're making a bit of a claw, and then bringing into a nice fist, and then stretching your fingers tall again, bending into your right angle, drawing your fingers in to make a claw, and then making your fist. And we'll do one more time. So maybe this time you can inhale, fingers up, exhale, 90 degrees. Inhale, make your claw, exhale, make your fist. And then release, give it a shake. And again, we'll do our finger tapping one. So bringing your thumb to each finger in turn, and then bringing them back. So trying to keep your other fingers spread as wide as you possibly can. Just going back and forth. This is also a good one to do if you're holding a tennis ball. Obviously your little fingers won't reach if you're holding a tennis ball, just to give you a heads up on that one, but it's good for your muscular strength. And then challenge time, seeing if you can bring on one hand your first finger and your thumb, but your other hand your little finger and your thumb, so you're doing opposites and working in the different directions. Now this takes a fair amount of practice and thinking and brain work, so don't worry if you get muddled. Also, I cannot do this without looking at my hands. And then once you've come back to whichever your starting position was, as best you can, give it a shake off, and shaking it off, sending it to the back. So I'm going to come a bit closer because we're going to do the fun bit. We're going to do eyes and face. So you may want to turn your cameras off if you haven't already done so and you don't particularly want to see yourself pulling these faces. So we're going to start with the eyes. And very simple, all we're going to do is look side to side. So keeping the rest of your face as still as you can, just looking one side and then the other. So almost like you're giving someone the side eye. Just one side, then the other. And then coming back to the center, and we're going to look up and down. So face, head staying where it is, looking up towards the ceiling and down towards the floor. And just up and down. And then coming back to center and imagining like a clock face in front of you. We're going to be moving your eyes. So starting looking up at 12 and then bringing your eyes to 1 o'clock. So and then 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, down to 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And we're going to go back the other way. So 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back up to the top. And maybe give your eyes a little bit of a scrunch. It's interesting actually consciously using your eyes that way, because more often than not they just kind of flit around whatever. It's not really something we consciously do. So then again, we're going to come to the face. So jaw, again, that's a very common place to store tension. So nice and simple, we're going to do side to side. So opening your mouth a little bit and then just side to side. You soon learn to not be embarrassed by this at all. And then coming back, and we're going to do kind of a big smile, like with mouth open, so, you know, really exaggerated, like, and then come for a pout, so scrunch your nose in, and then, and pout. So like if you've got a little baby and you're going, baby, and then sad baby. And one more time. And let that go. So, I don't know about you, but I can already feel it all in my face muscles. So, again, we're just going to do one more here. So this time, as you breathe in, you're going to drop your head back. So lift your chin and feel a little stretch along here. And then taking as wide a grin as you can. And then relaxing. And then a wide grin and relax. 2 more times. Grin, relax, and grin, and relax, and bring your chin down, and a breath. And if you like, depending on how your hands are, you can use one or both hands, and just gently bring your fingers to your forehead, and just glide them down towards your hairline, and then release. And again, just glide down, nice, soft, gentle movement. So maybe inhale as you place your fingers in, as you exhale, soften, glide your hands down. And of course, if you're doing this with one hand, you can just do one side and then the other. So just a nice, gentle softening of this big muscle in your forehead. And then the last time you can stop and bring your first finger or your 2 fingers and just gently press on your temple. So you might find there's a particular spot that works for you. Couple of breaths in and out. And then gently release. We're going to do our final kind of tense and release for our relaxation. So I'm going to sit back in my chair. So again, starting from your feet, working up As you inhale, you squeeze and create as much tension as you can, and as you exhale, you just soften, let it go, trying to focus on creating tension in that particular body part, but if somewhere else gets involved, that's fine. So, starting with the feet, the ankles, inhale, scrunch your toes, tighten the ankles, exhale to release. Calves and shins, inhale as you tense, create that tension, exhale, release. Thinking about your knees, your quads, backs of your thighs, inhale as you squeeze, exhale, release. Thinking about your glutes and your tummy, your lower back, inhale, squeeze, lift, brace, exhale, release. Your hands and your arms. Next, inhale, making fists, tensing through your arms. Exhale, release. Your shoulders and your neck. Inhale, shrug up, create that tension. Exhale, soften it down. And finally, your face, creating as much tension in your jaw and your face as you can. On your next inhale, scrunching up. Exhale, soften it out. Take a few breaths. Let yourself get as comfy as you can in your sitting position. Maybe you want to bring your feet closer together and let your knees come apart. Maybe you want to bring your hands to your tummy or resting in your lap. Your eyes can close or your gaze soften. As you gently breathing, letting your natural rhythm just flow in and out. If you notice any thoughts coming, cropping up, or feelings or sensations, don't push them away. Just let them naturally drift. They'll soon release. Letting your body, your breath, and your mind be soft and release. And then, when you're ready, inviting some gentle movement back into your body. Just moving intuitively, naturally, any which way you like, to help bring yourself back to a more wakeful state. Unless, of course, you're planning on having a nap, in which case, stay chill. Wrap yourself up in a blanket, have a doze. It's a good plan. And we'll finish with a breath all together. So on your next inhale, taking your hands out wide, up as high as is comfortable. And exhale, bring your hands together, near your heart centre. Thank you all very much for coming and sharing your practice with me today. Well done.